Okay, you got the gig. The hard part's done. What are you going to bring to it? What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing out there? I hope everybody's staying safe, staying inside. I wanted to take today's video and I wanted to show you what's inside my close-up case. The case that I bring when I show up to events, when I do cocktail parties, weddings, close-up shows, stuff like that. Basically, whatever I can fit in this briefcase that I can then take what's in the briefcase, throw it into my pockets, and be ready to do an entire evening. So I wanted to just go ahead and share it with everybody. Now, I know before we get going, there's going to be a couple people in the comment section. I know who you guys are. You're going to be in the comment section. You're going to say, like, well, Chazz, I can do an entire 20-hour show just off of a deck of cards. Number one, don't be an elitist. Nobody likes that. And number two, that's fine if you can. The way I do it is that I pack everything that I can into this close-up case, and then I evaluate the show, or I evaluate what I'm going to carry around with me when I'm at the event. So with that, I'd rather have more than enough than not enough at all. Plus, who knows? You could get to the event and whatever you have planned, it might not work for the event. So again, I'd rather have more than what I need than what I'm actually going to use. But other than that, let's just get into it. Here we go. All right, so without any further ado, let's just get into the close-up case. And this is it, guys. This is what I bring to all my gigs, to all my events. I picked up the case actually at Home Depot. I'll try and find these and I'll put a link up to them, hopefully, if that can help you. What I did is that I took a piece of cushion, because what it is that there's this little flap area and it just flayed back and forth. I put this little cushion area so now everything is nice and tight when I go ahead and I pack everything. So we'll just go ahead, we'll start at the top and then we'll work our way down. So to begin, I have a pen that's actually it's a hot rod pen. So it's a cool little thing, little hot rod pen there. Then you just go into your Sharpies. So I have a regular Sharpie, and then I have a jumbo tip Sharpie. I like the jumbo tip Sharpies. They appear a little bit better when you have people signing cards. Pair of thumb cuffs right here. I can make them out. Yep. So I have a pair of thumb cuffs. The reason that I have a pair of thumb cuffs, and you'll see with a couple other things in the case as well. I try and pack certain things just in the event that I show up to a booking for a close-up event, and then they expect me to perform for the entire crowd. Now, for an entire crowd of people, almost like it's a parlor show. I have had that a couple times. It's not frequent, but again, I'd rather be more prepared than less prepared. And then another cool little thing is that I have this cool little breathalyzer paddle. So I'm really big on paddle stuff, you'll see. This one, it starts off as a breathalyzer, and then what it will do is it changes into revealing drunk. Something really cool there. So we'll start around here and work our way down and around. Alright, so inside of my first cabinet, I have some squeakers. Again, I know that squeakers, they're normally played for kid shows or something like that, but I just love having fun with them. Honestly, I love walking around to drunk people and just like... and then doing the switch, and then it's one that doesn't work or anything like that. So squeakers, I have. I also have Garrett Thomas's Imagination Coins. This is a cool little thing, or as my friend Rudy calls them, is Invisicoins. I get into a very heated debate with Mr. Rudy every time that I see him perform this. It's Imagination Coins by Garrett Thomas, basically an amazing coin effect, actually one of the only coin effects that I really do when performing. The idea is that you take 4 quarters in the hand, in a spectator's hand. They imagine putting one in your hand. They don't actually do it, but then when you open up your hand, there's a coin there, and and 3 treble. It's a whole routine. It's great. Definitely something to look into. The next cabinet that I have, again, these are all mostly paddle stuff. So I have a hot rod. The reason I have a hot rod is I actually had a gig, and this was for, let's see if I can get the focus in here a little bit better on this. So I had a gig, and it was for a jewelry store. And I walked around with this, and I said, this is actually a jeweler's tool. What it is when a jeweler makes a new ring, they use this to decide which color gem would go great with the piece. And that was actually, and I just kept it in my case ever since. It worked out really well. Again, taking old tools that a lot of people know, refurbishing it, really like that. In here I have 2 sets of Joe Mogar's color changing knives. I have his black and white, that's mother of pearl, black stag. And then I also have in here his, I have a green and black stag. This set is actually very special to me. I had him custom make these for me, the green and black, because I don't know if you can tell, but a lot of my stuff used to be all green and black. I thought that that was the cool thing to do, was to be associated with certain color scheme. But anyways, all right. Next row here are just some decks of cards. So let's see here. First deck of cards. This is blank facers. So blank facers. You can do an ambitious routine with these. You can do Gregory Wilson's Pyrotechnic paste boards. Blank deck, and I should know that because I marked the bottom of the deck there. Next deck is an invisible deck. Then I use Joshua J's Phantom deck in lieu of the Omni deck. I have double face cards. The reason that I have double face cards, I use Anniversary Waltz a lot. It's actually one of my favorite tricks. For those of you that know me, know that I'm a really big fan of Anniversary Waltz. I was working on a couple things with that. And then this one, is this what I think it is? Yes, okay. So this is a trick by Paul Richards called Coincidence. Definitely something to check out. When I go and perform, I have a couple different decks on my pocket because I don't want to go into a table and be in the same vicinity. Maybe perform with a trick deck and they say, oh, well, I saw that trick over there. Or, you know, I want to just have, again, multiple options for everything that I do. Again, it's not for everybody. I understand that it's not for everybody. It doesn't have to be for you, but again, this is what I like. Next drawer is, I have a couple thumb tips. I have one for a bill switch. I have one for a, thing there. Those who know, they know. I have a couple matchbooks. And then I also have a preset lit card, lit by Dan Haas and Dan White. Great effect. They actually started reprinting this with Theory 11. I highly recommend, pick it up. I've gotten a couple gigs just off of this trick. And it's easy, it's simple. You just keep it in your pocket. And again, just a couple more matchbooks in there as well. And then also a third degree burn. This is a precursor to a lot of the blister effects that you see out now. This one can be done with any card, but you do have to, as you can see, carry around a big hunk of metal in your pocket. But again, any card. Moving over to here, I have more of the lit cards in the original packaging that came with the DVD about 10 years ago. Ooh, yes. And then a double cross, of course. That's a given. That's a necessity by most magicians. Moving my way up, I have the impossible trick. Now this just came out by Murphy's Magic. It was originally, I saw the version that I got at Magi Fest. Get this, just get this. This is great for every person. It's easy to follow along to with, because again, it's just colors, but it's high impact. It's something everybody understands, and just pick it up. It's honestly, it's great. And it's pretty affordable too. I think that the Murphy's version, it's only $15. So there's really no reason why to not get this. Just go ahead and do yourself a favor. Here I have another wallet that I keep in my pocket. This is, again, some double facers. It's easier for me to carry around this than a whole deck of this for when I go ahead and I do the switch outs and everything, or I have some downtime, I can apply it. Pizza paddle. Again, back to a bunch of paddle moves, but this one's done with a pizza. In this one, sponge balls. I do a 4 sponge ball routine, and I just keep them in there. Again, I know a lot of people don't really like sponge balls. A lot of people think that they're hokey, and it's funny. I see a lot of people comment like, "Oh, I've never used sponge balls," and then I see videos of them performing sponge balls. It's really, honestly funny to me. Real quick, so as far as sponge balls go, I know that right now we are living in the era of COVID-19 and everybody's concerned about germs and stuff like that. So I did have this case packed before this whole pandemic took place. I really do like sponge balls, but if you have an idea for something else that I should put in my case to substitute for them, please feel free. Go ahead, leave a comment down below. Thanks. Back to it. Over here, regular deck of playing cards, regular deck of bikes. I have a blue deck and I have a red deck. So 2 regular decks of playing cards, along with, this is something cool. This is something called the emergency card, and Danny Archer. Danny Archer came out with this. So it's pretty cool. It's just a version of the insurance policy, of the magician's insurance policy. So you just say, hey, you have a card, check it out. I got your card wrong, I have this one in case of emergency. Was it 2 hearts? No? Well then it had to be the 5 of spades, right? 5 of spades? No? Oh, then the jokers are wild. No? I'll tell you what. Is it in here? No, and then eventually you get the force card, but it's just something cool that I throw in the case here. Rubber bands. I love these rubber bands. These are Joe Reidenfleisch's rubber bands. I'll put these down in the comments as well. Best rubber bands on the market by far, ever. And again, when you walk around, you don't need to have a whole stack of rubber bands. You just need a couple of them. Skeleton key. I do a skeleton key routine with business cards that Joe Diamond published in Magic Magazine. It's a great effect, and it involves the out to lunch principle. That's all I'm going to say, out to lunch. And so it involves the out to lunch principle, and it involves a haunted key. And I use the nice silver ones. I really like this one. I can't find this one anymore. If you know where to find this one, put it in the comments down below. I really like this one. The ones that you see nowadays, they're all like the gold ones. And then onto the last compartment. Hook by Eric Ross. Great effect. I carry this in there because, again, I've had a couple of things where I've been hired to come up to a close-up show or walk around or strolling, and then next thing you know, I'm standing in front of 200 people having to perform a show. So again, this is something small, packs super small, plays big. I love it. I might do a review just on this later on, but this is a great little effect. And then next thing that I have is a Siberian chain escape. For those that know, again, this is a little escape routine. Sometimes if I want to, I throw it in with the handcuffs. I'm sorry, with the thumb cuffs. And again, Again, simple, fun little thing. Again, pack small, plays big. All right there. So this is what I bring to my gigs. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, everyone. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that you got some use out of that. If you saw something that you liked, or if you saw something that you didn't like, or if you saw something like, hey, maybe I should throw that into my close-up case, whatever the case may be. If you liked what I showed you, please go ahead, give me a thumbs up, make me feel good, make me feel validated. If you want to see what I have more on the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and the bell to notify you of when I'm going to go ahead and post another video. And as always, I'll see you next time.